video. And I'm just chit-chatting, because that's what I like to do. Just chit-chatting. I am on my way to do a couple of errands. And I put up a video last night with Jaren. It was the life through the eyes of a 10-year-old. And y'all please give her some views. Because she was like, she wanted to see how many people looked at it. So it was really good. And I'm just blessed. I am so blessed. We are blessed to have her. You know, she was a late baby for me. And I never thought that I would have another child at that point in my life. I think my oldest daughter was getting ready to graduate from high school around the time I had Jaren. So she has really been a beautiful child. Not always. No, I'm just kidding. Now she had her little ups and downs with her behavior sometimes, y'all. But for the most part, she is growing into a beautiful young woman. And I know that, you know that old saying, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. You know, I know it's up to me to, me and her father to instill, godly values into her, to tell her about God, to train her up right so that she will not depart from the faith. So that's what I'm trying to do. And it's so rainy and messy out here, and I actually see a car in the ditch as I'm driving by. It's dangerous out here. Well, I shouldn't say dangerous, but yeah, it is dangerous. If you want to think you can go fast in the rain, you are in for a surprise. Because if you have never hydroplaned in your life, oh my gosh, I got a good hydroplane story for you. And I was very young. I was in my mid-20s. I was in my mid-20s. And I had a little Toyota. I had a little 4-door Toyota. And I remember my kids being, all three of them at the time were in the back seat. They had their little seatbelts on. And my daughter, she was in an infant car seat. But the boys were on either side of her. And it had been raining really hard. There was lots of standing water everywhere. And I remember seeing some standing water, but you know how you kind of like underestimate it. As soon as I turn a corner, this thing flops over. I guess I underestimated it. Like, I thought it was more shallow than what it was. And I didn't slow down a lot. I'm going to be honest, I think when you're younger, you have a tendency to go faster and try to get places a little bit faster than sometimes you should. You're not as careful because you don't have that experience and nothing scary has ever happened to you before. So I remember driving and I didn't really brake a lot to go through the water because I figured it was shallow and I would just, like ride through it. Y'all, I hit that water. I can laugh now, thank God, but it was not funny when it happened. It was scary. I hit that puddle of water and we went airborne. Okay, so we did what's called hydroplaning. Y'all remember your teacher in driver's ed? Those of you who are around my age, we took driver's education. Well, you still take driver's education in high school. But I remember we had a lot of classroom time. We had to watch those films, and those films would just like scare you to death. It would show you people underriding, like riding and underneath of a truck, going in there, and they talk about the people got, all kind of stuff. And I see why they did it, because it was to make you a cautious, careful, defensive, as they used to call it, driver. Oh, my daddy used to wear that term out, defensive driver. You have to be a defensive, and you really, really do. But anyway, when I hit that patch of water, y'all, I went airborne, like the Dukes of Hazzard. Okay, seriously, like the Dukes of Hazzard. All the tires, it felt like, went off the ground, and I was launched up into the air. And I just remember when come on, get over, I'm on the belt line. It's like, come on, people, you know, like I wonder about these people, because sometimes people do not even know how to speed up when you get on the belt line. Put your turn signal, speed up. And I actually slowed up to let this person in, and they were just riding real slow. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, y'all. Sometimes I do that. I go off my conversation. But what I remember when I went airborne with that car, and when that car hit the ground, it was like ka-clunk. I was so scared, y'all. I pulled that car over to the side of the road. I had tears in my eyes. I was like, oh my gosh. So I turn around immediately to check the kids. You know, I turn around, I look in the back seat. And guess what, not my oldest son, my wipers, I'm sorry, not my oldest son, my son beneath him, he's like 3 years younger than him. So he, at the time, he was about 4. I hope y'all can see me. I'm underneath the bridge at a light. What a great place to put a light, right? But my son said, "Do it again, mama, do it again. And I was like, and my oldest son was like, yeah, do it again, mama, after he heard, you know, his brother. And I was like, and I think my baby, she was like, you know, y'all, I was like, these kids don't even realize they almost just, you know, like, it almost was like bad news for us, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it was so, when I look back at that now, it's like, Lord, thank you, Lord, for protecting us. But you know what, after that happened, I have never done that again. That was like a lesson that and usually that's what happens to people. When something scary happens to you because of something stupid that you did, you never do it again. Because you remember that lesson, okay? And I do. I did, and I still do to this day. And like now, I'm driving, and it's rainy and messy out here today, but I tell you one thing, if I see a puddle and I have to drive through some standing water, oh, I'm slowing it all the way. I'm gonna roll through. I don't care who blows at me, honks, get mad, do what you gotta do, but I'm gonna slow down because I remember when. And I actually know people who had accidents when they hydroplaned, they totaled their car, you know, because I remember telling somebody about it one time, and she was like, girl, you better be glad you didn't tear up your car, because this is what happened to me. I was like, what? And she did it, and she tore her car up. She went into a spin. After she went airborne, she went into a spin, and she hit the guardrail and just like tore her car, like totaled her car. So I was like, okay, I'm glad that didn't happen. Anyway, I am, you know what? I didn't want to do it in this order. I have 3 places that I need to go. And I just remember that one of them is a little farther down. And if I do that one, and then this one, and this one, that I can knock all 3 places out and get to the house. And I got a Richard Petty behind me, y'all, in the rain. And I just went on a roundabout, like, go figure. I'm glad you turned, Richard Petty. So I will keep talking as I drive to the farthest one, because it's down the street and the other 2 are like right across the street from each other. So it just makes more sense for me to go and do this errand first. But y'all, seriously, every time I think about that Dukes of Hazzard moment, I was like, Lord have mercy. That was a mess. Anyway, yesterday, I don't know if I'm gonna put the video up or not. I don't know if I'm gonna put the video up or not because it wasn't perfect, but then again, it's not gonna be perfect. Like, I don't know what I was expecting because I am not a sewer. I was actually in a sewing class in high school. It was an elective, and I don't know who picked it out for me. I don't know if my parents picked it out or I picked it out, because I really have always wanted to sew, okay? It was not my thing. I got kicked out of that class. After like a month or two, I still couldn't thread the sewing machine. So, and I know it was my fault because I really was not into it. I need to see some results faster than that, and I mean, it's so tedious. Certain tedious things I can do, and certain I just don't gravitate to. But anyway, the teacher got frustrated with me, kicked me out of the class, and put me in another one. I can't even remember what that class was that I went to, and I got in there late, but I liked whatever it was because I don't remember having any problems with whatever that was. But so I'm not a sewer, but I'm a creative. I know what I like. If I look at certain material, I know if I'd like to do something with it or not. And there was some material that I got from a thrift store recently, probably in the last 2 months. I got it. And I gave it to my mother because she can sew. She knows how to thread a sewing machine. She knows how to hand sew. She used to do curtains. She used to do a lot of stuff. I remember her buying the patterns when I was a little girl because she had a sewing machine, and she would make clothes. She would make herself clothes. I don't think she made them for us, but she made them for herself, like little fashionable things to wear. So I saw this material. It had these little teacups on the bottom, and I absolutely had gotten tired of my kitchen curtains, and I wanted to take them down, but I didn't have anything to replace them with. And like every time I went out and I looked for kitchen curtains, it was like I never could find something that I really liked. But this material just like spoke to me. I was like, "Ooh, I want this material," and it was in a thrift store, and it was folded up, and it was like 8 yards for $9.99. So I said, well, that's close. That's like $1 and something a yard. I think that's a pretty good deal, and I really like this material, and I would like to make my kitchen curtains out of this material. So I bought it with the idea that my mother would sew, if I got enough, and it was enough, it is enough, that she would sew my 2 windows that I needed, because I have one over my kitchen sink, and then I have a side entry door that has a window. The door has windows in it. So I would need 2 separate curtains. Or if she did like 2 panels to go over, where I could open it up over the kitchen sink. And then I don't really care to open up a curtain on the side. I would prefer to have just one big curtain the way it is now. So that was like 3 curtains that I was hoping she would make for me, in exchange that she would have free material to make herself some too. Because when I showed her the material, she was like, "Oh, this is cute. I like this." So, I told her what I wanted. She was like, "Oh, yeah, okay then." Well, I guess she just never got around to it, or she wasn't really into it like I thought she was. And so about 3 days ago, I thought about that material, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna ask her. Ooh, I'm sorry, that was my windshield wiper. I said, I'm gonna ask her if she, like, to just give me the material back. I know I watched a video on YouTube, and I knew what that lady was talking about when she talked about that stitch witchery, because I have used that before to hem stuff since I can't sew. And I watched that woman's video. I got all hyped up. I asked my mom for the material to give it back. Had she done anything with it? She was like, no. I was like, well, I'd like to get it back. She was like, oh, okay then. She gave it to me. And I told her, I said, I'm going to attempt to make these curtains. And y'all, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to upload it or not. I might, because it's not perfect, because it was my first time actually making curtains. But y'all, I'm satisfied. I made the 2 curtains that you can pull apart for my window over my kitchen sink, and I made one for my side door window. And y'all, I was like, ooh, I really like this. And I still have tons of that material left. So I don't know if she's gonna want it or not, but I could think of a lot of things that I could do with that material. Actually, no, I can't. Cause I mean, it's like kitchen window. I guess it is like kitchen-y, curtain-y looking material. Like, you could put it in your bedroom, but you know, I don't know. But anyway, I may upload that video so y'all can see what the process was, and then y'all can see the finished product. I might do that. And I am at my other destination, the one I wanted to go to first, because it makes more sense to hit this place first. But y'all, so I might just upload it. It'll probably be a short, one of those short videos. All right, y'all. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.